Eveline is a short story written by James Joyce and it's part of his collection Doveliners. Published in 1914, the story is about a young woman named Eveline who is caught in a difficult and emotionally changed situation, torn between the safety of her current life and possibility of a new life abroad. It's a poignant exploration of paralysis, a recurring theme in Joyce's work, reflecting the limitation and struggle of Dublin's working class citizens. The story is set in Dublin and follows Eveline, a young woman in her 98th year who works at a shop and lives with her abusive alcoholic father, and her younger siblings. Eveline's mother has recently passed away, and she has been taking on the responsibility of caring for her family. She's grown weary of her life and is ready to escape, especially after meeting Frank, a sailor who promised to take her away to Buenos Aires for a new life. Biographical context. James Joyce was born in Dublin on February 2, 1882, into a middle-class Catholic family. His father, John Joyce, was an alcoholic who struggled financially, and his mother, May Joyce, was deeply religious. The family faced financially stable, and Joyce's father was often emotionally distant or irresponsible, which created a tense and volatile home environment. Joyce's relationship with his father was complicated. On one hand, Joyce admired his father's intellectual capabilities, but on the other hand, he resented the man's inability to provide for the family. This combination of financially stable, a difficult home life, and the pressure of Catholicism heavily influenced Joyce's writing in his works. The oppressive social and religious environment of Dublin often served as a the oppressive social and religious environment of Dublin often serves as a backdrop for characters' struggle, particularly their internal conflicts between personal desire and societal duty.
Cultural context. James Joyce's Eveline from Dublin's in 1914 is set in early 20th century Ireland, a period marked by colonial influence, strict Catholic values, and limited opportunities. For women, first, Catholic setting, Ireland under British rule. The second, Ireland was still under British control. This political situation created feelings of paralysis, oppression, and lack of freedom. Joyce reflects this in Eveline's inability to escape. Her stagnant just as Ireland struggled to assert its independence, Eveline struggles to assert her own. Third, social norms and expectations. Fourth, Irish society places a heavy emphasis on family duty, obedience, and sacrifice, especially for women. Eveline feels bound by her promise to her dying mother to keep the family together in Irish culture. Loyalty to family was considered more important than personal happiness. 5. Rule of women. 6. During the period, women had very limited freedom, economically, socially, and personally. They were often expected to become caregivers and home workers and dutiful daughters rather than pursue independence. Eveline represents these constraints through the she dreams of new life with Frank. She ultimately cannot break free from tradition and obligation.
Linguistic context of Eveline. Simple everyday language. Joyce uses plain and straightforward language that mirrors the ordinary. Simple everyday language. Joyce uses plain linguistic context of Eveline. Simple everyday language. Joyce uses plain and straightforward language that mirrors the ordinary life of Dublin's working class. This simplicity reflects Eveline's limited worldview and her lack of sophisticated education. The language itself reinforces the theme of stagnation and routine. Stream of consequences technique. Joyce employs a style that flows with Evelyn inner thoughts and feelings. Instead of following a structured narrative, the story drifts through her memories, emotions, and fears. This makes readers experience Evelyn's indecision and confusion directly, drawing us into her psychological paralysis.
And circularity. Words and ideas are repeated home, duty, promise, reflecting Evelyn's obsessed thoughts patterns and ability to break free from her environment. The returning to the thoughts mirrors her entertainment. She keeps returning to the same doubts instead of moving forward. Symbolic and emotive language. Joyce uses strong imaginary to evoke emotions like describing her home as having dusty cretonne or her father's violence. These words emphasize decay, oppression, and fear. Constrainingly frank is described with more hopeful and positive language representing freedom and escape.